Good day everyone. Please feel free to browse and watch any other videos on this channel, and also don't forget to leave a donation. Today we will give you some proofs of the worldwide flood. The Bible says that the earth was full of violence. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me. For the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. Now after the flood, Noah's grandchildren would have noticed that they were the only people in the world, and would have asked questions. So the storytelling began as a culture effect. In fact, if you look at the dates in the Bible, you will see that Shem lived long enough to tell the flood story firsthand to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why would people then question the accuracy of this storytelling culture? They lived for a long time after the flood, folks. Did you know that there are more than 270 flood legends all over the world? They are still telling these stories, even in cultures that never heard about the Bible. This Hawaiian story says, long after the death of the first man, the world became wicked. There was one good man left called Nu'u. He made a great canoe and filled it with animals. The waters came up over the earth and killed all the people. Only Nu'u and his family survived. One ancient Chinese classic called The Hai King tells the story of Fu Hai, whom the Chinese consider to be the father of their civilization. This history records that Fu Hai, his wife, 3 sons and 3 daughters escaped the great flood. He and his family were the only people alive on the earth. After the great flood, they repopulated the world. The Toltec Indians of ancient Mexico said the first world lasted 1716 years and was destroyed by the great flood that covered the highest mountains. Only one family named Coxcox survived. 1716 years before the flood? Well, if you look at the Bible dates, it adds up to 1656 years after creation and before the flood. So they're off with only 60 years, which is not too bad for a 4,000-year-old legend in a culture that never heard of the Bible. Is it maybe possible that the story of Atlantis could also be another flood legend? To Noah, the entire beautiful world sunk beneath the waves. Why would there be 270 flood legends today? Well, I think it's because there was a flood and it was worldwide. Today, Mount Ararat can be found on the eastern border of Turkey. On a Turkish map, it is called Nu-un-Cimisi, and it means Noah's big boat. There are even road signs that help guide you to the site. The Bible says, And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. The 7th month? Interesting. Some people will now say this is not true because the flood lasted a year. The flood did not last a year. Noah was in the ark for a year. All of the earth was probably underwater for a few weeks or 2 months before the water started to run off. The ark came to rest on Ararat in the 7th month. But we will cover the reason why Noah stayed on the ark for longer in a later video. There are 4 theories of what happened to the ark. Some think that it was taken apart and the lumber were used to build with. After all, trees would not have been big enough for this purpose yet. Some say that it rotted away. Some think it is still on the mountain, and others think it might be in the valley. Now, people have been searching for the ark for a long time. Many claim to know where it is, and some others even claim to have seen it. It might be there, it might not be. All I'm saying is that there is no scientific proof either way. This find, however, might be the real McCoy. After an earthquake in 1978, the whole structure was exposed. Either the surroundings fell away or the structure was pushed up during this earthquake. When mud flows around an object, it forms a teardrop shape, the same as with the shape of an airplane wing. The rounded shape in front and the pointy end facing back. This shape has the rounded end pointing downhill and the sharp point facing uphill. Ron Wyatt, famous so-called amateur archaeologist, and many other people believed this to be Noah's Ark. They did lots of studies and research on it and concluded that it is the Ark of the Flood. They said it collapsed in on itself and folded off to the sides. With ground-penetrating radar, they found what they said was deck timbers. They found iron rivets and that bolted it together. Even the Turkish government said that it is Noah's Ark. They built a visitor center to that effect. Now, people might get angry and puffed up at this and say that I cannot say that this even might be the Ark. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't work for them, and until some other better proof comes along, I will state that this might be Noah's Ark. The Bible says that the ark was 300 cubits long. A cubit was from the average length from elbow to the fingertip. Now, this is about 21 inches or 53 centimeters, just over half a meter today. The standard Hebrew cubit was 18 inches or 45.72 centimeters, and the standard Egyptian cubit was 20.6 inches or 52.3 centimeters. Now, that boat-like object is 515 feet long, which is the Egyptian cubit times 300, or 156.9 meters. It's about 2/3 the size of the Titanic. In the same region, they found 12 big rocks weighing about 9,000 pounds each. That's 4 tons and 82 kilograms, folks. These rocks had holes going through the top of it. Apparently, these holes were for putting ropes through. This is called a drogue stone. If you hang some weights around the boat, it becomes more stable in stormy weather. It almost works as a shock absorber to keep the deck of the boat as level as possible. When it is really windy, these stones will drag behind you and turn the boat perpendicular to the waves. This helps so the boat don't capsize or roll over when in waves, and is really important in high seas. Scoffers would say that a wooden boat over 300 feet long would break in the middle due to the weight of the two ends when going over big waves. Well, a lot of wooden boats over 300 feet long have been built and survived. The Chinese built a lot of them in the ancient times. Also, If you put a moon pool in the boat, it solves the problem. A moon pool is a hole in the floor with walls up on the inside. And as you go over the wave, this relieves the stress. The water actually comes up inside the boat. A moon pool would have been a great idea. Not only does it relieve the stress, it can also be a good place to dump refuse and, as the water level rises and falls, could help with air circulation throughout the boat. Although none of this proves that this particular find is the Ark of Noah, I do believe that it might be. That is all we have time for. Thanks for watching, and please leave us a donation so we may create better videos. Instructions on how to do so will follow. God bless. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of our next video. You can help us create better videos by leaving a donation on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you. We hope to see you next time.